Hey, good morning, Stacey Wyatt.
Good morning.
How you doing, man?
Doing great.
I appreciate you dropping in on the Top Producer Series. And just so everybody, if you haven't seen this yet, I interview top producing agents from all over the nation, a lot of them in Atlanta, every week. And this week we've got the pleasure of talking to Stacey Wyatt. And Stacey and I have been friends for a long time. We've been in the business together for about 11 years. And Stacey owns and runs the Stacey Wyatt Group, which is a mega real estate team here in Atlanta, Georgia. Stacey also has a construction company. Stacey is an investor. He flips homes. He renovates homes. God, what else, buddy? You got a long pedigree. What else you doing over there?
Helping other agents grow their business. All kinds of fun stuff. Never
So, Stacey, you have been. You and I came up together, another brokerage, side by side, legging it out, grinding it out, coaching together, and things like that. And then a couple of years ago, you moved your team over to EXP. And so tell everybody what's that's been like over the last 2 years. What's changed about your business?
Yeah, we just hit our 2-year anniversary, and I think the biggest thing for me was, getting to a point in the business where, I think you and I would both define it. We got kind of stuck in the messy middle, right? We were getting up into, I guess, for those that are familiar with the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, both of our goal was to get up to a MRE agent, a Millionaire Real Estate Agent, which is being able to do, roughly a little over 33 million in volume, hit $1 million gross commission income. It's always kind of been the goal, not kind of, it has been the goal since we started. And got stuck in that high 20s, and it's tough. It's, you got some administrative help. You've done really well at helping people, buy and sell homes. And that messy middle is where we had to make a decision of going to the next level. And that next level was it a few more people? Sure. Was it learning some leadership skills? Sure. Was it learning how to run a better business? Sure. All the above. And I was just looking around to find a place where I wanted to be around other teams that had grown the business that I wanted, because I knew there was, success leaves clues. And it was going to be a great opportunity for me to get around those that had done it before me, so I could collaborate with them, mastermind, and I've got all that and then some. I think what it really turned out, especially when I got in the right room, right? I think I told you a story about when I went out to Vegas and, finally hit that million GCI mark. And I was all proud and went out there, and I'm sitting at a table, and I got like Jennifer Weiner on my right, Dan Beer on my left, Kyle Whistle on my left, Tina Call, all those people. I was sitting with Vegas, and they're like, wow, we served 300 people this year. We've served 500 people this year. I've served 1,000 people this year. And I was like, holy crap. I haven't even scratched the surface yet. Yeah. So it opened my eyes to, I really wanted to get in the room. I wanted to be the smallest fish in the biggest pond. Yeah. And I found it. And it's been fantastic because we've been able to collaborate with them. They've basically been open book to where whatever we've needed in our next phase of the business, they just opened the book and showed us, hey, here are the plays, go run them. So, I've made a lot of mistakes in running the business early on, and some of them were expensive mistakes. Yeah. A lot of them cost some time. The way we've structured it now and being the people we're able to hang around with, they just cut a lot of the time out, and it saved us some expense because it said, here, do this, don't do what we did, which was make mistakes also. I think the biggest thing that really caught me by surprise was not only did it help grow the business, they all challenged me to think bigger. And I thought I was thinking big at the time. Right. And getting in a room like that, and the one thing that I noticed was, most of them have grown very sizable businesses, but then they were also very active investors in real estate. They've been, some of them have ancillary businesses that all feed in the real estate arena. So I think the biggest thing it did for me was taught me to think way bigger than I was thinking. And I already thought I was a big thinker. So that's been a thing that's come out of it that's really pushed me. And if I put it in bigger terms, now I'm focused on growing such a big vision that I can bring more people into my world and then help them grow their businesses to whatever level they want. not necessarily, I would say, by drafting off of me. In some cases, hey, I've got 10, 12 years in this business now that, I've created a little bit of a draft. However, we bring in some collaboration partners and we all get smarter together, and all of our businesses have benefited from that. So that's probably my takeaway from the 2 years.
I remember when you asked me to go out to Vegas, I couldn't go. I wish I would have now. But when you came back, I remember you telling me that story, and the look on your face was priceless when you were like, Mike, I was by far the smallest business owner in the room. And there was a lot of people in that room. And I mean, I think the next closest person was probably 90 or 100 million.
Yeah.
And you're like the billions of dollars of volume in this table. And I'm like, so that got my attention. Yeah. And then when we dug a little deeper, because we were both in coaching and paying a lot of money for coaching, and you said they're going to open their playbooks. And I said, what does that mean? And as we got into this group, the Honey Badger Nation and the Fast Forward movement with Dan and Kyle and Kinder and Reese and those guys and Al Stacey, all of a sudden the lid went way up. And now 40 million just didn't seem like that big a deal. It is. Yep. We've done that this year, but it's not. It's the collaboration. Like they get everybody in front of us, ahead of us, has done where we are. They've been there, and they go, oh yeah, I was there 2 years ago, and here's what we did to get past that. So let's talk a little bit about that collaboration, because I think that's probably one of the biggest keys to both of our success. What is that? How has that affected you, and what does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. I think one of my favorite masterminds is we went out to San Diego, and we had people from agents from all over the country there, and they were all really top producing agents. And it was really cool how they did the mastermind. When we all came in, we were all given 3 Post-it notes, and we were to write what our superpowers were. So what is it that we do in our business that we excel at the most? So everybody in the room put 3 Post-it notes up on the wall on what their superpower was. And then all the other agents, that were there to mastermind, voted. And then whoever had the most votes on their Post-its became the speakers for the event. Mm-hmm. And that was amazing to see, an insight 30, 40 minutes into each agent's businesses. Like I remember Mark Pattison, I had a similar background. I think he and I spoke together on investing in real estate. It's funny, agents all the time tell everybody else they need to invest in real estate, and a lot of them don't take their own advice. So Mark and I were talking, and now Mark, Mark is like top 2 agents in all of San Diego. Yeah. And I think his team's going to sell over 800 homes this year. And I was sharing a stage with somebody like that at the mastermind. And then you got, Kyle and Dan, both who this year combined probably do $1 billion just between their 2 teams. Yeah. So what it turned into was everybody sharing what all their best practices were in their business. So for me, where do you get that, right? Because I think a lot of times as real estate agents, we can look at each other as competition. And that's the first time that opened it up to what true collaboration looked like. And, there is a little bit of secret sauce within, if we were talking within the EXP model, that does incentivize those folks to open up their playbooks to us. However, it's a really abundant group. And I've made a lot of really good friends. And there are some people that are not necessarily, let's say, financially incentivized to help me, and they still do. Like I can call Tina Call and, out of North Carolina, who's grown a really big business, luxury. And her and Kevin are just salt of the earth people that they would spend, even though she's about as busy as anybody could be, like most of us get, at a certain level in this business, she'll take 10, 15, 20 minutes out of her time to, help me with whatever question I may have. So the collaboration, it's one of those things. Masterminds get thrown around a lot. Like it's real mastermind. What are you masterminding on? I will say it's more the collaboration between really high level business people, because once you're selling a few houses, right, you can learn to sell houses better. You can learn to serve clients better. But in the real estate world, they don't really teach you how to run a business. Mm-hmm. And as your business grows and you have more agents, you have more staff, then it becomes more leadership and how to run a good business. So those conversations typically happen at that level of the business, and it's fantastic to be around, people that are doing, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 7 million gross income every year.
Yeah.
because there's certain challenges at each one of those. So to be able to be in a group like that and maybe not make certain mistakes or get guidance that I would have to pay $2,000-$3,000 a month to a coach for,
Right.
has just been invaluable. And I'll boil it down even more. It's been the relationships, 100% the relationships that I've made, over the last 10 years, but especially in the last 2, that have really helped elevate our business. And in my case, it's like at this point, businesses. So, it's caused me to think bigger, but also me to get around other people that are thinking that big. And in some cases, I can draft off them.
I mean, Tina Call is one example. She is one of the nicest people I've ever met. When you and I were in Dallas at the Mastermind in the summer, we were having dinner with her. And after dinner, this is a woman who's doing, I don't know how many hundreds of millions of dollars of volume and has multiple different revenue streams, and sat there for an hour and a half after dinner and talked with us about all kinds of different things and aspects of her business, little nuggets, and the relationships that we have with these people now. It is invaluable. I mean, it's people pay thousands and thousands of dollars to hear these people speak, and we're and now we're just hanging out with them, and like we're kind of in the club, so to speak, right?
Yeah. Well, if I can, on that note, it's huge, and I think there's a difference, right? And for me, as the business has grown, I'm an entrepreneur in the sense that I want to own assets. And just think about it, anybody that's owned a house over the last couple of years, what is the prices have gone insane. So if you've owned a house, right, or houses, all those assets have appreciated. So if you're looking at on a business level, like I want to own businesses, and when you work for a broker, you may not own that business. And it is something that I always aspired to, was owning whether it was my own real estate franchise or real estate brokerage, or, where could I go get ownership? And that, I think, was something that that just really changed the game when I was able to get ownership at the brokerage, EXP, right? I think I don't even know how many shares I have, 2,000-3,000 shares. And the reason I bring that up is this: you and I are owners of this company. Tina Call is owner of this company. We're all owners. And when you're an owner of a company and you have skin in the game, you want the company to succeed at the highest level, which also means you're going to help everybody around you possible to help grow that company, because as owners of the company, the better it does, we win because our asset appreciates and it's another revenue stream. So that was a massive game changer. And one of the, couple pieces of secret sauce of, who we've aligned with in this case to help us grow our businesses is, we all own at this point an asset that we're going to win with. So I always joke, because a lot of agents better figure it out quick. I don't remember the last time I've been to an agent retirement party. I always say that and people laugh, and it's a little bit morbid. I say, hey, real estate agents don't retire, they die.
That's it.
So knowing that, right, and wanting to, have an exit strategy down the road is, what are you doing to position yourself for retirement? And this company gives you, a couple, let's say, exit doors to do that.
Yeah.
So that's the part. And that's why, when you bring up talking to the Tinas and, the Kyles, the Dans, Lindsay, I could go on and on, of all the people that are in our circle now. We're all there to help each other grow their businesses, because we all win from it. And that's different. When you have a room full of owners,
yes,
everything changes, right? So from the collaboration level we talk about, from them helping each of us grow, and a lot of it now is leadership, right?
Yeah.
Like we've maybe not mastered the game of helping people buy and sell houses. I think we're probably pretty damn close.
Yeah.
In any business, the next level is always raising your leadership lid. How are you leading people? Is your vision big enough to let everybody else fit into it? Because if you don't have a big vision, people aren't going to follow you, because they don't see them. So people want growth. If you're not growing, you're dying, and they look at that. So I think that's important as a business leader too. And the thing that I've been excited about is we've gotten around a lot of business owners and a lot of great leaders.
Well, what you said there is real important. I want to break that down a little bit. You talked about, raising the leadership lid and also helping a lot of people. So this platform that we're on right here with EXP helps us a couple ways help other people. We can add people to our team, or we can add people to our modern real estate team.
Yep.
And it's, I want to hear, your thoughts on that, what you think about that, your team and your modern real estate team, and maybe explain to everybody what that is.
Well, I think everybody's familiar with the traditional real estate team, right? Where, you may have listing agent, buyer agents, or just agents on your team. And, you provide leads, mentorship, structure, staffing. And that's what everybody's used to, what I call a traditional real estate team. And if we look at what a modern real estate team is you and I have been we've mastermind in the business together all the time. You and I have our own individual businesses, right? Mike Price team, Stacey Wyatt Real Estate team. And we've always helped each other. We've masterminded at certain levels, how we even owned offices next to each other at one point in our journey. And what EXP's allowed is, when I joined EXP, I was like, wow, this is a game changer for a lot of different reasons. And I wanted to share that with the people that I liked and wanted to be in business with. And so as you came over to EXP, you and I have different skills. One of my skills is, or one of my superpowers is just, I see the matrix. Like, I like taking chaos and creating order and systems and organization. You've always been a master at lead generation and just so consistent on that. So the cool thing is, through EXP, you would be considered on my modern team. You have your own team. However, you and I share information all the time, best practices. Hey, I'm doing this. How are you guys doing this? Hey, how are you guys doing this on social? We're doing this on social. So you and I are sharing information, collaborating together. I'm looking in your playbook. You're looking at my playbook. And, we benefit financially through EXP to help each other grow, whether it's through stock of ownership, like we just talked about, or, through revenue share, which is, as we attract agents to the company, we get paid only if we help those other agents grow and be productive. So it's a win-win for everybody, right? So with the modern real estate team, we're able to, as agents come into the company, I'm heavily incentivized to help them grow their business, right? Whether they're new agents that are, hey, I've sold nothing. How do I even operate in this business? Or agents that have sold 6 to 8 homes and are looking at their next phase. How do I get to 20, help 20 families a year? Or, people that want to build teams. They're like, hey, I've been doing this. I'm getting a little tired. Like, I need some leverage.
Yeah.
And, to create leverage, you're going to have to build a team. And, we've been there, done that. So the cool thing is it is true on a rising tide raises all ships. It's true the case here, because if I help each one of those agents that have joined in whatever capacity I can, I mean, the way you and I collaborate, the way we help each other is very different than the way we may help a new agent, just because we're at a different part in our journey, right? The cool thing is within that collaboration group, we may think we're doing all the helping, when in case we add somebody to our group, they may not sell as many homes. However, they have some skills, techniques, or knowledge that they pour into our group, and it helps us all, right? So that's the cool thing about what we refer to as our modern real estate team, is a collective of agents that most likely all are running their own teams, that we help each other grow our businesses, and EXP rewards us financially through stock and revenue share for everybody to grow.
So our little engine that could, we started Blueprint X, you and I and Casey Rutherford, back, about a year ago. And we turned it from about 9 people. It's in about 75 or almost 80 agents and about 85 people total in the group. And like you said, and not all these people are in Atlanta. And one of the beautiful things about being at EXP is, and this is for anybody that has a large team looking to expand, or a broker who has an individual brokerage here in town, there's no borders. You can move your business and expand your business in every city and state with no friction. It's just do it. And there's a lot of the folks in our group, in our Fast Forward group, Dan and Kyle, they have people in all 50 states.
Correct. And countries like Curtis Johnson, I think he's, got people in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 countries now.
Yeah.
And our group, we've grown. So, whether it's our traditional team. So for a traditional real estate team where we're a little hamstrung by a franchise model, right? Because all the owners of the individual franchises have territories, and they're independent owners of that franchise. So whatever name it comes to them. Well, since EXP is not a franchise system, and we're just an independent brokerage, really the only border is the state, and that's only for brokerage laws, right?
Right.
However, in growing a team where if like agents are in a capped model, well, we only have one cap nationwide. So I could put a person on my traditional team in every single state in the country and be under one cap and run my team nationally
That's
without
right.
any friction. Whereas in a typical, franchise model, you're going to have to pay, fees. You're going to have to pay, cap dollars, what they call company dollar, and or fees, and et cetera, to every office that you have somebody in each state. So from the traditional perspective, it's taken a lot of the friction out of the system. Second of all, for our, let's call it our modern real estate team, where we're partnering with teams around the world in this case, is our team has grown. Like you can almost look at ours like a virtual market center that of our partnership group that we've grown to where we've got agents in a lot in Georgia, obviously, North Carolina, Florida, Virginia. We're talking to agents in Canada, multiple states, Colorado. So, as we grow our modern real estate team, our collaboration group where we're all growing, I mean, we have a goal to be international. We will have an agent in every single state, in every single country that EXP operates in, which is amazing to think. And, it's all allowed by technology. We're a virtual brokerage. Everything can be done. Anything that you can do in this business, you can do from a wireless connection. So, which is amazing. So we can grow, as big of a modern real estate team and partner with agents, teams around the country, all help each other and all get rewarded, which is pretty cool and exciting. Because I know, Jorge Montilla, who is in our group, he's from the Dominican Republic. Well, the Dominican Republic is getting ready to open. So, we'll have agents in the DR. We've got plans to grow this really big. And the fun thing is we're partnering with agents that we want to be around,
right?
We want to collaborate with. And what better? It's kind of nice to say, hey, we got to go do a training. Let's fly to Dominican Republic to have a training. So it's going to be fun. And it's been a lot of fun in the 2 years. I've been this excited in real estate in a long time. And I think the biggest thing for me is, really scratching that why is being able to take, the chaos of the business, put it in order, and then help all the agents that have joined us find their greatness and grow to whatever level they want to grow.
Well, you and I, when we both opened our mega offices a couple years ago, it's been 5 years now. We had to go through and do a lot of red tape and fly out and do a bunch of classes and pay a lot of money, which was fine because it was a great education. And when we both looked into what does it look like to start a market center, it was a very expensive endeavor. It was going to take us out of production completely while we spent a year hiring and getting up and running. And the overhead and the brick and mortar, we're doing the same thing right now without all of the financial downside. It takes $1 million, $2 million, $3 million to run the average market center. And that's if you're leasing it. You got to buy the land. None of that now. The Dominican Republic, we're going down there to fly on the beach and hang out with everybody. We don't have to be down there. Jorge doesn't have to open an office. You and I don't have to open an office in Miami. We can just put people on our modern team. And it's just a beautiful thing. I think that's probably one of the things that a lot of folks don't understand, because this technology that we have and this model is just disrupting the whole industry. Don't you agree?
100%. If you look at it, the internet's changed a lot, right? And especially COVID changed a lot of things. I think a lot of people realize you didn't have to be in office every single day.
Right.
Now, some of us enjoy offices, like we're maybe a little more professional, a little more productive in an office, which doesn't mean in a virtual brokerage you can't still have, a brick and mortar or share an office or something to that effect. But the reality of it is everything can be done via an internet connection, right?
Right.
And it's interesting. People always talk. It's like, well, how virtual model? How do you guys interact? How do you do any of that stuff? And it's really a hybrid model, but the entire basis of the brokerage is run on an internet connection in a world. And actually, as Facebook's talked about having their own metaverse, EXP, we already have our own metaverse. We already go to trainings in the cloud, where my avatar walks in and stands up on a stage and teaches, 100, 200 people in a training class, and from, EXP agents all around the world. Or I walk in and talk to my, accounting person in the world, or transaction, or tech support, or whatever it may be. And it's really, kind of the blockbuster Netflix model where I don't have to drive over to a brick and mortar, walk in and deliver an earnest money check, go pick up my commission check. Everything's done, via an internet connection I can do it from my phone. Leaving from earnest money, all of our clients wire their earnest money to the attorney. My commission checks are when we leave a closing, the settlement statement and the commission check gets mailed to my broker, and my commission's direct deposited into my account the next day. So it's really changed the game as far as it is the next evolution of the real estate models, right? Where we could go back to where Coldwell Banker owned the early 1900s, and Remax changed the game with their model, then KW changed the game with their model. Now it's EXP's the disruptor and changing with their model. And, they have EXP has True Tech, which is the Verbella software that we power our metaverse, right? What we call EXP World, which now most of the major, college institutions like Stanford, Michigan are running their virtual campuses on. So it is the next evolution of real estate. I think the publicly traded piece of it, where some people get scared of it because they just are not, they just think of Wall Street and think of all the negatives about Wall Street, which, hey, sometimes I concur. However, that is the, one of the secret sauces that helps us all be owners of a company, where a lot of people are like, well, you don't want to answer to shareholders. Well, when the majority of your shareholders are agents, we all own the company and we can drive the direction of the company. When you got, somebody brilliant like, Glenn Sanford and Jason Gessing leading the company, the game's different, and we do have control more than we think, because as we all, continue to grow our businesses and attract other agents that do the same. I mean, what are we, six quarters in a row that the growth has just staggered. I don't know if it's been double. I think it's almost doubled over, 6 consecutive quarters. If not, it has grown substantially. So, so that's the difference. It's a very different. If we look at all the other traditional real estate, models, I've always talked that they're their own. That's the same box with a different dressing on, with different wrapping on it. EXP just built a whole new box. It's a whole different model, and for some, it's hard to get their head wrapped around. And I get it, because we've been so used to the old models. I think for anybody that really wants to dig in and kind of understand what EXP is, you'd have to sit down for 30, 40 minutes, come in with an open mind and see if it's a fit for you. And I will say, for agents that are, producers, or thinking of grow teams, or looking for, an exit strategy, like a retirement strategy, this is the only place that I found that truly offers it. Especially if you want to be a shareholder of a company, actually have, own an asset.
Well, what you said about the different brokerages, now they're all, everybody's got similar splits, similar ways they cut up the money. The one thing consistent with all the other ones is it all goes up, filters up to the top, to the owners. And you're within, wherever brokerage you're with, you're within $9,000 to $11,000, 1 or 2 transactions difference in how you get paid and what you'll make. It's not that big of a deal. It's all about the same. And for all intents and purposes, I mean, if you really look at it, EXP is paying us to be here with our stock awards that they give us for hitting certain production milestones, and also helping people see the opportunity. And then those who participate in the revenue share like we do, it's just I don't want to say it's a no-brainer, because it took me a year after you started talking to me to look at it. But once I drop my ego and said, okay, let me look. And then I really took a hard look at it, and it just made more sense, because over the long haul, the only way to really get out of real estate is to make a ton of money and to save a ton of money and have a bunch of investments, or to have passive income and a stock portfolio that's going to pay you in your older age. And so I think go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with that. If I was to break it down and, let's cut through some of the BS and let's talk. Most agents, their pride's going to get in their way, right? It's just how it is. There was a day and a time where my pride got in my way on a few things, and it stalled me in my growth in business. So if somebody was truly to sit down, a business person was truly to sit down and look at this model, it is a no-brainer. The challenge is they have to sit down with an open mind and look at it and truly understand the pieces and parts, because this is a little more complicated, only complicated from the sense that the agents are empowered in this company. The agents are the ones gaining, the ownership and everything that comes out of this. So if they can put their pride and their ego away, like we all don't know it all. Once you've actually sit down and figured it out and came open mind, like, I pestered you for a long time, man. It was like, yeah, okay. A lot of us, we're just trying to sell houses, right? We're selling more houses, selling more houses. We're on that hamster wheel of selling houses, and it's great. For most agents, they don't have an exit strategy. When they stop selling houses, their business is over.
Right.
And, I think it's probably, I don't know the actual numbers, but I'd be willing to say less than 1% of any real estate agent can actually sell their business, right? In sales, it's basically called a book of business. Less than 1%. My guess is probably less than 0.5% can actually sell their business. Have a business that is of size and scale and profitable enough to be able to sell.
Right.
So what is their exit strategy? What is their game plan? Just make as much money as they want, and let's hope they save it. Statistics show that they don't, right? I think the average American debt is whatever, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, and most Americans have less than $5,000 in savings. Mm-hmm. So I got to assume agents fit in that category. They're not, outside of that. So what is it that they're going to do to get, out of the rat race? And in finding a company that, if you came in open-minded and look at it, say you got 5-10 years left in business, it's a tremendous way to build a stock portfolio. It's a tremendous way to develop some passive residual income, so that when comes the day that you want to stop selling houses, you're not dead, right? You have an exit strategy. So that's how I look at it. I'm a business person, so it always has to make business sense. Mm-hmm. And I was perfectly fine and happy with the brokerage who I was. Yeah. I just saw an opportunity. I saw it fairly early and jumped on it. And now my goal is to share it with as many people as I can, that I would want to be in business with, and those people that I want to see succeed also. Yeah. Because who wants to climb a mountain and be the only one standing up there to celebrate? It's way more fun when you bring a lot more people with you.
That's right. Well, my friend, you're doing it. We're doing it. Our group's doing it. And, we've been able to help and impact a lot of lives this year. And I only see it getting better because the folks that we're bringing into this thing, our little group, Blueprint X here in Atlanta, is thriving. People are loving it. And in parting and your final comment here, what would you tell anybody out there, any kind of agent that's getting ready for the new year, that's thinking about their business? What would you tell them to do here?
Yeah, you better have a plan. Get your plan together. Get your plan ready now, because the new year started a few days ago. What's today? December 10th.
Yeah.
It basically starts right now, because any obviously contracts that you put under today really are probably closing in January. So the new year's already started. So if you don't have a plan, get it together. If you don't have a plan and need help putting a business plan together, give us a call. We've been doing business planning for the last 2 months. So
that's right.
Other than that is step on the gas. Well, go, get it while the getting's good.
That's right. Well, Stacey, hey, thanks for your time, buddy. You're good. You're a good businessman. You're a good friend. I love being in business with you, partnering with you. And let's keep sharing the good news with all the folks out there in the real estate world.
Yes, sir. You have a good weekend.
All right. Talk to you soon.
All right, brother. Talk to you.